All right, guys, today I'm going to show you another creative way to train and practice when your course doesn't necessarily have the exact right setup that you need for certain shots. And we're all going to do that right after the intro. So speaking of being creative, in the middle of filming that intro, I saw a dog jumped out of a car and got left, and I had to track down the owner. And just like you need to put your names on your disc, you need to definitely put a phone number on your dogs because such a sweet dog, and I'm glad I was able to get it back to the owner. All right, now back to what we were talking about. So here's the deal. Got a tournament coming up this weekend, and I really want to be working on some this week. Not necessarily my power, even though it's going to be a lot of throwing long. My shoulder can't keep throwing long all the time. So I want to work on my approaches and just dial in my touch shots. And some of it, there's going to be elevation changes. And I have a couple places around the course that I could do that. But this is a great little way that I have set up to just do a back and forth here that gives me two different types of shots. But it works on some downhill, and I've got the automatic OB behind the basket. And then if you see here, if I back up, I've got this back up the hill, and then OB comes in right after it. And you see I've got this creek and these bushes. So I'm giving myself two different challenges in my throws, both going down and then coming back up so I can be more efficient. But it's also just a fun new shot that I haven't been working on this course because I just made it up. So anyway, somebody wrote on one of my other videos, that looks like fun. Some of it is just that. You want to find those shots and stuff that you can practice, but also that's kind of fun, finding new things. Use your own internal motivation to help you practice. This is just kind of a cool shot. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit up here and I'm going to try to throw my whole bag of putters to mid-ranges. I'm not going to go distance drivers, but I'm just going to try to get them all right by the basket. And to be honest, I want no OBs. I want to play out here until I can get all my shots in this area without any OBs. Now, it's my lunch break, so I might not be able to do it because I might run out of time, but that's kind of the challenge I want to give myself is throw to that basket with all my putters and mid-ranges, because sometimes you need to use your mid-ranges instead of your approach disc and be able to control them all the way up to my deflector, which is a meat hook, trying to work that in there so that I'm working on these approach shots so that when I get to the tournament, I go, oh, I've thrown this shot 50, 60, 70 times. I feel confident in it. Hope that makes sense. So here we go. I'm just gonna grab a couple of my practice bergs. Straight out of the car after rescuing a dog, I hit the tree. Good bounce. One of the things you start to do is you start to realize how you start out. Am I tight when I start out? And yes, I definitely am tight. So I need to relax. I need to get good visualization. And I'm just gonna come in. Right at the basket. Let's try it one more time. And so it's a fun, creative shot that I can work on that gives me some parameters and some chaos that I've got to avoid, but also just to have fun. And so now I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna throw back this way. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So here are my three shots from up there. Now I have 12 discs that I will throw back and forth, but this is just to show you what's going on. And then wherever they land, I have to putt them. And if I really wanted to get difficult, I would need to put the parameters of I can't stop until I get them all in two shots. That's a big ask, but it could be something that you could work towards. But so ideally, you're making yourself, you're constricting your target, you're making your misses smaller until you can just almost on demand start getting those shots inside the circle, inside the bullseye. When you're practicing setting stuff up like this, you want to give yourself goals that aren't reachable immediately, that are tough, that you got to work at it, but it's going to give you that extra little push to keep trying it because you want to get where you can get all the discs, all 12 in that basket in two. So that means either you make great approaches or great putts, and it's going to balance it out. So anyway, all right, so now I've got my basket set up over there. By the way, This is my new gimbal. I want to see how it works out. I've broken another one, so I'm up to 4 gimbals so far. I keep forgetting to set up my monopod correctly on grass, and they just fall over in the wind, and yeah, one just snapped right in half. It was nice. So now I'm just gonna send these back and try to land at that bag. But here's the thing, for this one especially, I need to go up and let it land soft so I don't hit the road that's about 8 feet behind the basket. I literally just got out of the car, so this could be ugly. Of course, let's do this so you can actually watch it. There you go, Pete. Actually think before you talk or throw. All right, here we go. Pulled that into the bush, bounce off of it. Thank you. Perfect. You gotta talk to your disc. You have trained discs like I do? Too high. But I almost slotted it right back in the bag. Would have been awesome. So see, I'm pushing it a little long, but what a great little tester, back and forth. Now I'll just go do that and start back over and come back and forth. I'm not wasting a lot of energy because all the discs are set up there for me to just turn around and come back this way. So anyway, that's a quick creative tip for how you can take your training to another level on the course that you have. Hope that helps. Hope to see you next time out on the course. All right, I don't even know if I'm gonna even publish this or not, but I think we need to talk about some things, and you know, part of YouTube is you want to throw out the good and the shiny, but some of the things we don't talk about is, you know, we're all struggling. Let's face it, no matter where you are, you're struggling with something. And for me, I struggle with anxiety and depression. And I've signed up for this tournament in Florence. It's one of the first kind of big tournaments I've played in a while. And one of the reasons why I don't play is because they stress me out so badly. I usually play all right, but kind of the toll before the tournament and even some after the tournament, I just crash. And I really have to do a lot to keep myself going during the tournament, to keep my focus, to keep my head. And I really struggle with a lot of condemning thoughts while I'm out there. And some of the struggle is really even knowing how well I can play, and then when I start to get in my head and tighten up and things just go off the rails, I just collapse sometimes. And so part of me doing this tournament is to just try to work through going to a tournament and not even caring about the score. Now I know some people are gonna be like, you got a competition, all this stuff. I'm really trying to make it about being there and enjoying the tournament, enjoying the people I'm playing with. Because I also know that if I do that, I will score well. The problem is I used to make disc golf an idol in my life, and it was so important that I got my value and my worth from how well I played. And if you watch this channel for any time, I keep trying to go back to relationships and making other things more important than disc golf. And so I've got to be able to walk that out in my own life as well. And so I'm playing probably some of my best golf lately. And so there's part of me that just wants to go out there and crush it and prove to people how great I am. I mean, let's face it, that's what we want to do. We want to show the world how good we are. But there's another side of me that wants to be able to not be wrapped up in that, so I can focus on the other people out there. Because let's face it, we have a finite time with the people that we get to interact with. And if I'm being selfish, focusing on myself and how good I can do, I'm missing out on so much with other people, and maybe being able to love on them and show them something and just lightening their load. Because let's face it, we're all carrying loads that are heavy to us, emotionally, physically, other things going on. How much more can I come back from this tournament and say it was successful because I had joy and I truly loved on the people around me? So I really do want to probably put this on this video coming out on Thursday so that you can keep me accountable. You can ask me whether I did it or not. I'll probably fail miserably. I'll probably get so wrapped in my head. But let's start the conversation, the dialogue about where we get our meaning and value. Because let's face it, a lot of the anxiety, the stress, the depression comes into this seeking value or not feeling valued. And so if I'm trying to get wrapped up in this little thing giving me value, it's going to fail me and I'm going to fail others. But if I can trust the love of my Father and the love of my family and the love of my friends that I'm okay. I don't have to grasp and fight and be mean and stressed out and all this stuff when I'm out on the course. And so that's what I'm really hoping will happen. You know, I'm just kind of spitballing this right now. I don't have any script or anything like that. But if you're the praying type, pray for me this weekend that I would be able to be present, full of joy, and able to love the other people. That's all I want. And I really do hope to see you out on the course. If you happen to be there, come say hey. All right, thank you so much, guys. And let's go out and have some fun.